These are my worlds from the past, and this is my world now. Can you guess which one's lasted the longest? Which one I'm actively having the most fun on? And can you guess which world I've completely burnt out from playing on, to the point where the save file has been collecting dust in a random folder for years? Hey everyone, it's Lofstar. Today I wanted to talk with you guys about why I stopped trying to be good at building in Minecraft and how that actually made me enjoy the game 10 times more. I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive and also may seem a little bit stupid. I mean, why would you purposefully stop being good at one aspect of the game? Especially since I really enjoy building. Why would I want to make my builds worse? Well, trust me, there is some logic behind this, and I'm gonna tell you why I made this choice and why I think a lot of players can also benefit from this. So grab a snack or a drink and sit down and play some Minecraft with me while we talk about the game. Sometimes I feel like these videos where I just talk about Minecraft are just way too deep for being just about a silly little video game, but honestly, this is my biggest passion besides art, so I hope you can understand. I kind of talk about these things because honestly, it's just kind of fun to overanalyze how we as players play a game, even if it doesn't really matter. But anyways, let's get on to it. I feel like there's a sentiment in the Minecraft community, especially nowadays, that didn't really exist back then. There's a sentiment that one's world needs to be full of huge, epic, awe-inspiring builds that should rival the standards of Hermitcraft or the most skilled Minecraft builders out there. They should be worthy of the most epic renders, most epic screenshots, one that will give you 1,000,000 upvotes on Reddit, and that is how everyone's world should look like. Everyone's world should be full of these super impressive builds, and if you don't have impressive builds in your world, then why are you even playing the damn game? It feels like these days you can't even have a simple looking build or a simple looking world. You can't have a single ugly build, let alone an incomplete build. There's just a lot of standards and pressure that I feel like we all kind of have on our backs because of the way that we see other people play Minecraft online, especially if you're watching a lot of Minecraft content on YouTube or just looking around on forums or Reddit or Pinterest. I mean, all you see when you look up anything to do with building is the cream of the crop pretty much, and I feel like we internalize that sort of just super epic way of building. It's professional builders that are putting these pictures out there. It's even huge teams of builders, and then we look at these builds and think that, oh, my world should look like that too. And I've definitely fallen into this trap a few years ago where I would literally just consume so much like content of builds on like Pinterest and stuff that I felt like I had to recreate them in my own world, and I had to start these huge mega projects and have something to show for all this time I've been playing the game, and I really didn't have that much. When I was a bit younger, I was playing a lot of Minecraft creative mode, and honestly, I played creative mostly as a way to build my stories into the game. It was a way for me to put all these characters and worlds and things that I've created with my imagination into a physical space, and I didn't really care if my builds were perfect. It just needed to be a representation of my imagination, really. That was my main goal. I didn't think about how perfect the build should look. And of course, I did try to make the builds look nice, and as I kept going with that project and just building more creative, I over time got really good at building, honestly. And I would look at tutorials and learn how to build new things, and it was really fun because I had this other purpose besides just get really good at building. It was to fulfill this creative expression for myself, and at some point I stopped doing that. I stopped telling stories with these worlds and my builds, and instead I would just kind of try to make whatever looked cool. And this kind of happened at the same time where I noticed that this sentiment, this kind of like meta, as I've seen some people call it. I've actually noticed this after I watched this video. I'll have it linked in the description because it actually inspired me to talk about this in the first place, because this is something that I've actually been thinking about for a very long time. And the way that the creator described this was a meta. It's like everyone starts playing the game in the same way. We make a new world, make a starter base on day 1, full enchanted diamond armor day 2, ender dragon killed day 3, and it's crazy. And in the middle of all of this, you build these huge structures, these epic builds that make it into the thumbnails of your 100 days videos and all these challenges. I mean, it's just crazy. Like every time I look on YouTube of the most mainstream type of Minecraft content, all I see is just grand builds, and I don't see any builds of the nature that I used to see a decade ago. And those builds from a decade ago, that is how I was building. That is how I still build even till this day. And it's because I've fallen out of love with these meta builds. And not to say that they aren't cool, they are incredible, and obviously from a creative, artistic perspective, I really appreciate it. And I'm not going to try to discourage you from actually trying to be good at building. Of course, I'm not taking that fully literally, nor am I even trying to say that these types of builds are bad in any way. I just want to open you up to a new perspective, because I feel like it's so important that as players, even as just people in general, this goes for more than just Minecraft, we should always know that we have a choice. Even if it feels like everyone out there is just doing one thing, that doesn't mean that you have to be doing that thing. There's always a chance for you to do what feels right for yourself and do what feels more important to you, even if that may look a bit different than everyone else. Let me ask you this. When you try to copy these grand builds, when you look up these tutorials of how to build the perfect starter house or how to build the most epic mega base, is this really how you want to play? Is it fun for you to constantly criticize your own builds, stress about how good they are? Or would you rather just play at your own pace? Do you find yourself missing the way that things were in the past? The way how simple the builds used to be? How even the most popular Minecraft YouTubers out there wouldn't always just be the most amazing builder and would find their strengths in other areas of the game? Do you feel like you could be building in a way that is more true to yourself? And for some people, the answer might be no. Maybe you have a lot of fun trying to be the best builder, and in that case, of course, don't let me stop you. This video is not for those people. But if you feel like this kind of resonates with you, that you feel too pressured to build in a certain way because you see that everyone else is so good at it, that you should be too, then hear me out. There's more to this game than mega bases and 45 block pallet houses, gradient roofs, 3 castle towers, terraforming, blueprint needing starter homes. Since I started sharing my forever world here on my channel, a lot of people have been commenting that I have a very unique build style in a way that it looks very old school and simple. And honestly, this is just kind of the natural way that my world has progressed over time. I started it with a lot more higher standards. I wanted my builds to look really, really cool. And even one of the earliest builds in my forever world is this huge mansion that I made because I wanted a build that looks cool and impressive, and this was quite literally the only reason that I built it, because I knew that all of my builds in the past, especially my homes in all of my worlds, were always pretty simple. And then I just constantly saw all these epic bases that other creators had, and I felt like I needed an epic base too, so that's why I built this mansion. I literally found the coolest house I could find on Pinterest and built it. I made the gradient roof, there's 100 freaking rooms in that thing, and honestly, a lot of them are completely unnecessary, and that build became so complex and so decorated that every time I would step into my house, my computer would tank its frames. I would get massive frame drops from being in my house because that's how much over detailing and decorating and kind of complicating I made it. So then I decided to actually move out of that house and kind of downgrade into this really basic home that I built half into a mountain and half just kind of in between one. It's sitting right next to my noisy ass cat hotel, which is actually a recreation of a house from one of my favorite Let's Plays from back in the day, IS Cupquake single player. And I built my house right next to it, trying to embody that same style because I really love the simplicity of that house. So I made sure that my house was a lot simpler. I made sure to tone down on the decorations but still keep it true to myself, and I was really able to express my own interests and style within that house, even if it was more toned down because I wasn't trying to impress anybody. I wasn't trying to copy another really cool build. I was building from the heart. I was building from my own loves and interests, and that's why I have this ugly striped carpet in my bedroom and a wall full of paintings and a bunch of glowing blocks and a little aquarium and this really inefficient storage room. It's just such a simple house, but it's so cozy and warm to me. And honestly, it's the most homey home I've ever made in Minecraft. So ever since I made that house, I really started to embrace this simpler building style. And it wasn't for trying to capture a sense of nostalgia for simpler Minecraft builds or anything like that. It really isn't about the nostalgia for me, although that is an added bonus because I do love the older versions of the game even still. But I found that building in a more nostalgic, old school way ended up just kind of being a lot more fulfilling for me, and I want to share that with you because I feel like going outside of the box actually showed me that I really love this style of building so much more, and it actually made me so much more inspired to build and do all these sort of wacky, crazy builds that I would have never done in the first place if I hadn't made that kind of like switch in style. I mean, I made a mountain with all my plushies on it. I've made this heart-shaped rainbow tunnel that is such an eyesore from the outside. I made this really simple cobblestone looking castle. Oh, and let's not forget the giant Nyan Cat house in the sky. The rainbow sheep tower, which is the most inefficient sheep farm you could ever possibly build. But these builds, they're fun. They were so much fun to make, and honestly, they are kind of like a true representation of who I am as a person. They're colorful, they're silly, they're stupid, and honestly, that's just who I am. I stopped caring about making it look good. I just focused on what made me happy, and I feel like it really shows because the builds are fun, they're fun to look at, and I feel like they tell more of a story anyway, even if there's less to look at. I started to build from my imagination. I actually completely stopped relying on build tutorials, even when I used to use them like constantly back then. I learned those fundamentals and I can build pretty decent if I tried, but it wasn't really the most fun way for me to build. I started to build less as a way to impress people with any sort of skill that I may have, and just build for myself as a way to express myself. I really don't care if it's ugly anymore because honestly, I don't want to give that sort of pressure to myself in my own Minecraft world that's supposed to be just for me to have fun in. There shouldn't be any stress in your world like that, especially if building is something creatively fulfilling for you. Even if you do want to become a good builder, I highly encourage you to not let your builds stress you out, even if they look ugly. Trust me, it doesn't matter. We all make ugly builds. And who says that they're even ugly in the first place? There is charm in every Minecraft build. If you really don't like it, you can just tear it down. There's no big deal, but don't let your skill level stress you out. Your builds do not have to be like those YouTube thumbnails. They just need to be you. Also, I started to experiment with blocks. I mean, nowadays I use so many weird blocks. I mean, oxidized copper is my current favorite and I've been using it everywhere. Amethyst and wool. I love using wool. I just find whatever sort of blocks that speak to me and I just build with them and see what sort of fun color palettes I can come up with. And sometimes I'll just stick with the most basic of blocks. I mean, I'm a cobblestone plus oak wood freaking lover to death. So yeah, a lot of my builds are just really boring in that way, and some of them are more fun, but the thing is, there's variety and I just do whatever I want, so there's really no pressure. I don't really think about, oh, my house is so boring, or oh, this color palette is so overused, or these colors clash. I mean, if I don't like them, I'm gonna change it, but if I don't care, then I don't care. And let me tell you, I've been having so much more fun in my worlds ever since I made this switch. Just changing how I think about my building has helped me tremendously. So don't be afraid to build something ugly because seriously, it doesn't matter. If anything, I feel like we should kind of try to change the tide. Change this meta that has been going on for so long, where I feel like it's impossible to feel like you're actually worthy of playing this game unless you're a master builder. I mean, seriously, not all of us are freaking professional builder YouTubers with a team and we're I mean, we're here to freaking play a block game and play in our little sandboxes. Like, I'm not trying to stress about the freaking color palettes and depth of my build and how to maximize detail using creative block choices. So I encourage you to go into your world and build something ugly. Build something that's below your standards and see if that makes you feel better. Just have fun, experiment with blocks, try to see how you can actually express yourself, maybe build something based off of your interests, because that is one of my favorite things to do. Just as an example, this is something that I mention a lot in my videos about my world, is my art gallery, because I'm an artist, I love art, and I also love the Minecraft paintings, so what better thing to build than an art gallery? So dig into your deepest self and see what you can do in Minecraft that expresses yourself. And share your builds online, even if they don't look perfect. I think if builds tell a story, if anything tells a story, they're automatically worthy and they are automatically art. Even if it may not be perfect, it may not be good, it may be downright ugly, doesn't matter. If you're having fun, then that's all that matters. I hope in the future years of Minecraft and our community, it'll be more common to see more of these simple builds and actually not feel so pressured to build so perfectly and follow this sort of meta and trend of just maximizing the game and over automating it. There should be a balance. There should be room for the amateur builders, the pro builders, even the worst builders out there. Anyways, that's all I had to say for today. Let me know what you think about this. What type of builds do you like to make? And if you disagree with me, I'd also love to hear your perspective. Of course, this is not advice for everyone because I know that there's some people out there who genuinely love to be good at building and want to actively improve, and that is actually their most enjoyable way to play the game. And if that's you, then of course, feel free to ignore my advice. But I know that knowing what I know now would have really helped my younger self, and maybe if I didn't feel that pressure earlier on, I would still be working on those projects that I was doing as a kid, building my world and stories and characters and all these sort of things that I would do. And I know that I could always do them now, but honestly, nowadays, I'm just kind of tied to my forever world, and that's been making me really happy, so that's what I'm working on. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more of these Minecraft and chat videos, and also leave some topic ideas down in the comments, some suggestions of what you want me to talk about in the future. Be sure to leave this video a like. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!